Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. This Pokemon is one of the absolute original Pokemon dating back to Generation 1, Red and Blue. Traveling around the world with Ash, we've seen them in both the anime and playing them in our handheld consoles. This Pokemon has held a special place in all of our hearts and is now coming to Generation 8 Pokemon Sword and Shield. But this Pokemon that we love, having lost its Mega Stones, is it as good and competitive as it used to be? Is it something viable that we can use? In today's video, we're going to break down its moves, stats, abilities, and more, and see just how far we can go with this Pokemon. Let's get into it, guys. Charizard, number 380 in your Pokédex. It is the Flame Pokemon. 5 foot 7 inches, 199.5 pounds, and it spits fire that is hot enough to melt boulders, and it may cause forest fires by blowing flames. Keep in mind this Pokemon can also Gigantamax, one of the only currently. We're all familiar with Charizard being the classic fire-flying type of the game. Since the Generation 1, he is the OG. Looking at his stats, you can tell that Charizard has a very balanced stat spread, with his HP and defense both hitting 78, and his special defense hitting 85. This is a Pokemon that can really take a hit or even two and keep on going. Moving to his attack stat at 84, it's nothing to laugh at, it's something that you can work with, but pay more attention to his special attack at 109. With the special attack of 109 and some of the possible moves that can go with Charizard, you can really beast this Pokemon out, especially in conjunction with his speed stat of 100. You can definitely do a lot of things and do a lot of workups with this Pokemon. There are a lot of different ways that you can build a Charizard. Looking at Charizard's strength and weaknesses, we can see that it is 50% resistant against Steel, Fire, Fairy, and Fighting type, 1/4 resistant against Bug and Grass, and completely immune to ground type attacks. On the flip side of the coin, Charizard is 2 times weak against both Water and Electric, and 4 times weak against Rock. Looking at abilities, Charizard has 2 abilities that you can choose from. Blaze, which is his standard ability, powers up Fire-type moves when the Pokemon's HP is low. And Solar Power, which is his hidden ability, which boosts the special attack stat in harsh sunlight, but HP decreases every turn. So in essence, Charizard's Solar Panel ability is very similar to having a Life Orb on, where it's going to boost your special attack damage, but you're going to take a little bit of damage every turn. Part of Charizard's versatility is the fact that he can learn a lot of different moves. Just here on this page, you can actually see his utility moves, and this isn't even inclusive. I left things like Growl off of this list. In the orange, you can see some of the utility moves that you might want to use. Fire Spin, Protect, Will-O-Wisp, Substitute, and then in the blue you can see the ones that I don't think you would probably use. You always could, but you can see Rest, Attract, Helping Hand, Swords Dance, Dragon Dance, and Work Up. Like I said, there are possibilities to use the ones that are in blue here, but there are many more moves that Charizard can actually learn. I do not believe that most people are going to be using a Fire Spin in their competitive Charizard, since VGC is allowing Gigantamax Charizard to come in. His Wildfire ability is basically using Fire Spin without the trapping mechanism. So I don't believe Fire Spin's going to be used, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Charizard does not have a wide variety of setup moves, it's basically Sunny Day. However, it has a very, very widespread and diversified range of moves, both special and physical, offensively. Having such a wide, diverse array of attacks, we're going to go ahead and put down a few honorable mentions here. Solar Beam, Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, Hyper Beam, Giga Impact, Air Slash, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Heat Wave, Overheat, Dragon Pulse, and Hurricane. Charizard has an amazing amount of skills that it can choose from. These are just a few, but there is a lot you can do with this Pokemon. Charizard, like most Pokemon, can learn certain moves through breeding. Most of these moves are going to be physical oriented, so if you're doing a physical Charizard build, you may want to look some of these up, like Belly Drum for example is a fantastic move to have. However, there's also some special ones like Ancient Power, which is a rock type move, which will give you a lot more coverage across the field. Finally, Charizard has the ability to learn 2 different Tutor moves. 1, Blast Burn, that you can get in Winden, and 2, Fire Pledge, that you can get in Hammerlock. Like most Pokemon in the game, Charizard has the ability to Dynamax. However, if you obtain a special Gigantamax Charizard, you do have the ability to Gigantamax, which gives you access to the Gmax Wildfire ability. Wildfire is a Charizard exclusive move that continues to deal damage to the opponent for 4 turns. Any Fire-type move that you have equipped to your Charizard at the time of Gigantamaxing will unlock your Gmax Wildfire attack. However, if you are going to be using this for competitive with VGC rules, please note you have to have the ability Blaze on your Charizard. The hidden ability, Solar Power, is not allowed in these tournaments. Okay, so remember what I said, there are a lot of different ways that you can build this Charizard, so we're going to look at a couple of them, and the first is going to be a Choice Scarf setup. Now on this Charizard here, I have a Timid Nature, and you'll see the EV spread. I put 252 EVs into HP, and 252 EVs into Special Attack. Our ability is going to be Solar Power, our item obviously is going to be Choice Scarf, and our attacks are going to be Blast Burn, Air Slash, Hyper Beam, and Solar Beam. So we have quite a bit of coverage on the field here. We can play with our Blast Burn, which is going to give us our Sunny Day, Air Slash, which is going to increase our speed, Hyper Beam, which is going to decrease the speed of the person that we're fighting, Solar Beam, which is not only a grass move, but it's also going to give us a little bit of healing on the field. Now obviously everything I just described is for when you are in the Dynamax and or Gigantamax versions of the Charizard. So this setup here really allows you to be able to be versatile on the field. If they send out a Dracovish with a Scarf on it, you're going to be able to Dynamax or Gigantamax, use your Air Slash, get a +1 to speed. Now you're outspeeding the Dracovish, now you can kill it. Now you're faster than almost anything that they have. The extra added HP into the Charizard, and combined with his already pretty decent stats, is going to be allowing you to take some hits if you need to help yourself get set up and get your solar panel working. So this Pokemon is very versatile, and this moveset really complements that. I do want to make a quick note that this Charizard is a solar-powered Charizard. However, it is not a Gigantamax Charizard. This is a regular, non-Gigantamax Charizard, and therefore solar power is legal. If this wasn't a regular, if this was a Gigantamax Charizard, that solar panel would have to be Blaze in order to use it in actual tournament capacity. So another Charizard setup that you can go for is a Life Orb Charizard. Now this Charizard is going to be a Timid Nature as well, except the EV breakdown is going to be 252 speed, 252 special attack. You can use the 6 remaining however you like. I put it here in HP. Also going to have the Solar Power. So the Solar Power and the Life Orb are really going to boost your attack, your special attack a lot, and it's going to make this thing just monstrous when it hits. So you want this thing to be as speedy as you possibly can. And then I'm using the same attacks as before, Air Slash, Blast Burn, Hyper Beam, Solar Beam, because you do get a lot of coverage on the field with these. But this is a fantastic, hard-hitting Pokemon if used in this way as well. Also consider using a Pokemon that can do Sunny Day, so that it can set your Charizard up a little bit more. I've been using Dusclops, not Dusknoir, but Dusclops with an Eviolite on it, to really get the Charizard ready to go in and just decimate your opponents. There are, of course, many Pokemon that you can pair with the Charizard. Just make sure that the Pokemon you pair with it are going to complement each other, just like any other Pokemon team that you're composing. But like I said, there are a million other Pokemon that you can put with it. Just play around, try some new things. You don't necessarily have to stick to the mold that is the VGC that you see online. Try your own thing, see how it is. Another huge positive about Charizard is, because he's the fire type, he's actually a great counter when it comes to steel type Pokemon. I've had tremendous success countering Pokemon like Excadrill with Charizard. So there's a lot of different Pokemon, a lot of new Pokemon even, like Duraludon, for example, that Charizard is going to counter absolutely magnificently. So think about this when you're making your team. Make sure you're always checking your opponent's Pokemon so you can see exactly what they're doing, so you can kind of premeditate where you're going. But Charizard has become one of my favorite Pokemon to use competitively next to that Galarian Weezing. Alright guys, that's it for this video. That is my builds for the Charizard. Those are the 2 builds that I'm currently using for Charizard that I've had great success with. But hey, if you're using a different build for your Charizard and you're doing great with it, let me know. Come by the Twitch, stop into the Discord, let me know what you're doing. I'd love to look at your Charizard and see how you're playing with it. Other than that, guys, if this was helpful at all, please feel free to drop a like or do the subscribe. Other than that, guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, take care.